Everyone, Holly with Katerie Designs here. Today I thought it would be fun to do a slider video, but instead of using stretchy cord, we're going to use wire, and we're going to actually have a real clasp. And I'm going to apologize off the bat because that little beep you just heard is my stinking fire alarm, one of my fire detector alarms that is hardwired and has a battery for some reason. I don't know why they have both, but to the house. I have changed the battery 2 times, and it is apparently broken according to the web searches I've done, but the clip will not dislodge from the casing. So I am stuck listening to this until I can get a repairman now out here to fix it. So yes, there's sarcasm in my voice, and I'm very frustrated because I went all night long listening to that, and I would just fall asleep only to hear that beep. I have very sensitive hearing, and so I didn't sleep much last night. So I thought it'd be fun to do this video and share that beeping with you, in addition to learning how to wire with beading wire, do a slider bracelet. And the bracelet, I'm using the clasp is a toggle clasp. Now, I don't know if you can get these anymore or not. When I looked these up on Fire Mountain, they said they're no longer available. They came with the state sale stuff that I got, and almost everything I got from her that has Swarovski on it, all of it was limited edition or limited quantity. Possibly find it online if you look for it. Not sure, but I'm sure you can find something similar to it if you want to use exactly this. The other thing is, I'm not sure if you're going to find this one. These are acrylic Swarovski sliders with the Swarovski crystal in the middle. They're flowers. They're gorgeous. This beautiful green. Let's see if I can move my light down here and give you a little bit better color here. But this green is just this amazing green color. Probably something more springish, but I thought it's something we can still wear in fall. I also have these beautiful slider center accent pieces, and they're 2-hold, so they get matched with the sliders with these acrylic flowers. Now the problem was, if I just did these 2, one, it's probably not going to be long enough because I only have 6 of these, and they're not long enough to make a whole bracelet without showing something. So we need some accent beads over here, and this is some kind of it's a jade color, but it's not a true jade color, I don't think. I am not an expert on gems, but I do know some. But I don't think that's actually true jade color, but it possibly could be. It looks more like a chartreuse type of green, but it matched these in this. And because of the overlay of the leaf, if I just put these up against these, and because I have enough to do just these 2, but you wouldn't see it. See, the leaf hides it when you go up against where the where the holes are. The leaf hides it, the actual accent piece. And these are it's not a rhinestone because it's Swarovski, but it's like a rhinestone inside metal. It's just really pretty. I have a whole entire box of limited edition sliders. I'm going to do some videos with those as well. And as usual, it'll be for sale on the Katerie Designs webpage. Group page. Sorry that the beeping has me so distracted and so out of sorts that I'm going to misspeak a couple times, I'm sure. All right, so you're going to need your sliders. You're going to need your accents, whatever they are, whether they be the 2-hold accent sliders or actual beads, just like we did in the a stretchy bracelet. You can use, it's the same thing. You can use them both. I am using AccuFlex 7 strands beading wire. It is, they actually, I guess, machine braid their wire, and I use 49. I use a couple of different types of their strands. I also will use Beading. Beading has, for certain types of projects, has some pretty good wire, and I'll use that as well. But this one, even though it's a firmest drape, at this number of strands, it's a firmest drape because these are so heavy, and along with these, when you start putting them all on, it becomes a very heavy bracelet along with your toggle, my toggle. that it's okay because it will still give us a real nice soft drape around our arm. You're going to need some crimp beads and crimp covers of your choice. This is Stardust colored crimp covers, and I thought they matched this. And I could have went with just a plain pewter color. Oh my gosh, that noise. I could have went with a pewter color, but I decided not to. I decided to keep it more close to the color of the bracelet than the toggle. The toggle's just slightly off. It's more of a muted silver color than the actual accents. It's got this, you know, more of a pewter color to it than a silver. So you're going to need those things. You're going to need your alligator clips as usual, and instead of having to hide anything this time, we don't have to hide knots because we're going to have these crimps. So, and we hide the crimp with a crimp cover, so we don't have to worry about that. And I do like these bracelets. They're more of a formal bracelet. They're my more expensive bracelets. When I have beads that are on the higher end, I will tend to use and do these. I also got a whole bunch of these with at the estate sale. And it's a good, estate sales are really good ways if you can find them. And to be honest with you, I find mine on Craigslist. I look for what's fair, and what I can afford, mostly what I can afford, but also what's fair. And it'll take me I'll go a year without seeing anything, but I look about once or twice a month. Sometimes a little bit more if I'm starting to run out. But this last bead haul I got, at the estate sale I got, I don't think I'm going to have to buy another bead other than accent crystals. I don't think I'm going to have to buy anything else till I die, because I just got so much, unless I just am being a shopaholic, which I'm not saying that can't happen, but that, you know, that's going to be the only reason why I need it. All right, so I put my I put my alligator clips on the ends of my wires. And you can do 2, or you can do 1 like in the last video. You can, however you want to do it. Now I'm not going to have to hide anything because I'm going to be attaching stuff. And so I'm going to be attaching my clasps. So I don't have to hide knots or things like that. So if it's easier just to put it on 1, and I'll go ahead and do it on 1 just so y'all can have it. You've already had one with 2. You can see what it is with 1. And it's just adding 1 clip on here. And so I've already pre-made this bracelet and taken it down, and then I'm gonna rebuild it again, just so I know how it's gonna work out. But before you get started, you can put this on pause and get your stuff together and decide what it is you want to do, formulate your plan and your pattern. And I'm going to only make the first couple for time's sake, so we can just get started. All right, so taking our wires, I'm putting 3 to begin with, because these are going to be on the ends with my toggles. And so I'm going to have to slide that down a little bit. Some days with dexterity are better than others, but this is the end of the day and I'm frustrated and I didn't get a lot of sleep, as you can tell in my voice, because of that stinking fire alarm. They're good and you have to have them, and I'm so glad that they made them, you know, they created them to have them, but when they go out, it's not fun. But like everything else in my money pit, that's what this house has become for me, my money pit. Okay, see, we have this, and we have 3. Now they're not even right now because I have a clip here separating the 2. We should have a contest to see who can count the right amount of beeps in this video, and I'll give away a free piece of jewelry, a free ring of your choice off of the design page, the group page. Let's do that. I'm going to give away, whoever guesses the correct amount of beeps from that stinking fire alarm since this video started, and then if you whoever has the correct amount will go into the drawing for a free ring of your choice. There we go. Because it's irritating me. I'm sure it's irritating you. So, all right. So I have my three beads on here. And, like that. Now I'm going to take my accent bead. Now, right now, it doesn't matter which way it's going. But whichever way I have this going, I need to make all the other beads go. Because it has a right side and a wrong side. Or, you know, up and down side. So I want it to go this way. Everything else, if I do it on top, or I can flip it and do everything upside down, doesn't matter which way I choose to do it. But whichever way I go with this bead, I need to go with the other beads. And the round beads, of course, don't matter, but I'm talking about these and the other. So I put 3 on my beginning strand because they're going to match up with my toggle, and I wanted 3 to end it on. But I'm going to have just 1 bead in between each of these from this point forward. So I'm going to do 1 bead on each side. And this bracelet is going to be on the smaller end of the size because I have a small wrist. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this bracelet or not because I'm not sure if you can buy these anymore. So I may give it to one of my family members as a gift for Christmas or for their birthday or whatever. So I may end up keeping this one. But we'll see. So I have these pieces through here. Let me see. Let me zoom in here for you. You see ahead here I have 3 because this is where my toggle is going to meet. And I have 1 here. Now in the same direction because I'm facing up. So this needs to be facing up. I need to put my strands in the right position. Let me back out of here. So these strands need to go in the right holes. So we have them in the forward position. Now, for me, stringing wire is much easier. Beading wire is much easier than stringing stretchy cord. Stretchy cord bends and moves, and you have to use a pair of tweezers to get them out and all that stuff. Now, see how pretty that is? Let me zoom back in on that one. And we can even zoom even more. That's just going to be gorgeous. So let's go back to R2. And I hate that stupid beep. It's like a bad word beep. No, I'm not going to. All right. So anyways, put 1 more. Because like I said, until the end, until I get to the other end, I'm only doing 1 bead in between on each side of on each strand in between my accent beads. And there's an accent bead in between each focal. And what makes an accent bead is it's just an accent. It's not the focus of your work. So I could make this my focus and these accents. And the way I would have to do that was that I'd have to use a whole lot more of these than these. But because they're bigger, they'd probably still come out focal. But anyway, whatever you want to call it, it's not important. What's important is enjoying what you're doing. Stupid. All right. And I said stupid as far as that stupid beep. And I'm going to quit commenting on the beep so I won't give any more hints for them. Maybe it become like a white noise. I wish. So, anyway, let's see. So we have our accent beads, see? And I'm going to do 1 more slider bead. I'm going out of focus here. And it's going in those holes, see? Okay. And I pull on both of them. And this is what we have so far. And I think that's just going to be gorgeous. So I'm going to put it on pause. And I'm going to go back through and put the rest of these on. So, because we're already at 14 minutes. Let me go ahead and put the rest of these on. And I'll show you how to tie these off. Hi guys, and we're back. So I've finished putting on the beads. And I want you to take yours and turn it upside down to make sure that you got your wire or your beading material through all the holes. Make sure there's nothing sticking out. So this is double check. Learn that the hard way. So right now this looks like a pretty small bracelet, but you're going to add, like I said, between, I don't know, probably about a ½ inch combined with both sides. It would end up being about a ¼ inch on both sides. And so now I'm going to show you how to tie it off. So I'm going to take one side, I'll just use it on this side. Okay, and I want to have enough, let me give myself enough room on this side. Just slide down a little bit. And normally I don't like to waste so much stuff, but because this can get really hairy and tricky, I think I'll have enough left over to do a smaller whatever. I'll have enough, I can use it for lots of different things. I definitely keep it if it's usable. All right, so I'm going to take my one side here, put a crimp cord on there. Let me get my crimp. And I still haven't traded in my crimping tool. I know I'm horrible. It's like an old shoe. And so it doesn't matter what side of the toggle you take. I'm just taking this one. Put it through the hole. Now they make many different types of things. You can use French wire. There's a thing that's pre-made. It's pre-fit out. It's just like a little horseshoe with holes in it. You slide it through. I've tried those. I really don't like them. They don't match the bracelet. Now French wire does, but you know, and it gives a little bit more, I guess, a little more finesse. But it's, you know, kind of pricey. So yes, I know, Kitty. My cats are having a fit because they are all not with each other. So they're meowing, looking for the other one. All right, so since I'm at the end of this wire and I'm going to slide everything down to the end when I'm done, I don't have to worry about seeing how close I am or anything. So I'm just going to close this off, kind of like I did the rosary. So I have an imagined spot right about there. I don't like my stuff right up on the wire because then it tends to basically grind the wire down to where it finally frays and breaks. So I like to give it some breathing room so it can be mobile and not be so tight that it can't breathe or move. And I put my glasses on here. See if y'all can see through this. Let me see if I can find my lens here. See that? That's what I have to look through. So, anyways, you gotta learn to laugh at things, or you'll cry all the time. So I laugh at this stuff and not cry about it. Okay, see, and I have that telltale, kind of like a little tiny mini horseshoe. Let's see if I can zoom in on there. See it? That's a nice crimp. Got both sides going both ways. And hopefully this part doesn't ruin it. Slow, not fast, just slow. I hate when it slips because then you can't get it out and you have to cut it off. Your flush, not flesh, flush cutters. Okay, and turn around. All the way flush, not on top of. You don't want to include that crimp. You just want to go right, like grazing it, and just clip that off. And then we take our crimp cover, and I said this is a Stardust. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, Tigger. That's Tigger. He's trying to find his sister. Okay, and so it's kind of hard to see this Stardusty part. There we go. And that's a really pretty crimp cover. Okay, so just like with the rosary, if you watch the rosary video, I'm going to angle this in. I want the back of my bead, and this is just me, this is just my thing. I want the back of my bead inside where the seam of this crimp cover is going to be. I want the back of my thing facing, the back of my crimp to face the back of my toggle, so you don't see the seam. Now this is a little bit bigger crimp than I normally would use for this, but because it's the only size I had that was decorative, and it matches the other size, then I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Put it on here. And I should need my bigger. They make bigger size crimp holders, so. All right, and then you go both ways, and then it closes it up. And even like this, and it's done. All right, that's just one. Find my other string, and keep it to the side, same side it's on. So I'm gonna move it over here, grab my current cover, move it over here. Now they make toggles that have multiple ends, but this is just how I'm doing this one. You don't, I mean, you do it whatever you want to do, you do it. If it looks good to you, that's all that matters. Okay, unless you're trying to sell it, and it needs to look good to everybody else, but I think that it will. So, anyways, I have made some things sometimes. I'm like, what? What did I do? What was I thinking? And someone else actually loved it. It's because we don't have the same taste. We all have different tastes. We all like different things. What might not be pretty to us might be amazingly beautiful to somebody else. What might be amazingly beautiful to us might be hideous to someone else. So, when you make something, and if you want to start selling stuff and doing this as a, profession or whatever, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've only sold a couple of things, and mostly to the same person. But I don't let that get me down. I do this because it helps me. It helps me with physical therapy, and I enjoy doing it. And if I can sell something, awesome, because it helps. But if I can't, oh well. I enjoy donating a lot of my stuff that I donate. I enjoy doing that just as much as I enjoy selling it. The problem with donating is that when you eventually run out, you have to have some way of buying more. So anyway, all right, so another one of my crimp covers. Now, this is just moved out of the way, so this side's going to be easy. The other side, where we have to tighten everything up, is going to be a little bit more difficult. Okay, it doesn't want to go in. There we go. So you see how I'm putting this in here? So we're going to zoom in on this. You see how I'm using my finger and I'm using this part as an anchor along with the string, and I'm pulling it down into the crimp. That's because the crimps have these sides there. Those little holes. My son. All right, so they have these holes here, and you want your beading wire to go through that. You don't want your beading wire to be cut off by the edges. So you're going to hold it down. And I'll show you. I'm going to do this with my little one first. Make sure it's on there. You see, this is a bigger one, so normally with the smaller one, it would have closed it up all the way. So I have to get my bigger crimps, put it on there, and then I'm going to go right over the top of it. I'm going to put it, I'm using my fingernail to hold the wire in place, and to hold it in place. Okay, and then I'm just going to push down on it. And when I push down on it, it's closing the gap. I'm using my wires. I think today is like a festival day of crazy things going on. That stinking alarm clock, or fire alarm, and then my cat won't quit crying, and I keep getting interruptions. See how nice it looks? It's all nice and pretty. All right, so let's back out of here. All right, so I have these two sides, one on each side, and it does matter. Okay, now this looks like the back part. It is the back part of this. I've got a bead back down there. It is the back part of this, and if you look, and I'm glad I did this way. Okay, see how this is the back part? It would look so funny if my clasp was in the wrong direction. So I got it in the right direction. So there's our piece right there. And we're going down here. So now I can take these two pieces off the clip, because this is a really long string. So I don't have to worry about it coming off. Now this is where it gets a little bit more difficult. Now, my toggle that goes through the hole is dual-sided. It doesn't have any designs on just one side. It's just a regular toggle, so it doesn't matter which direction it's in. Okay, so same thing as I did on the other side. I'm going to take my crimp bead, and I'm going to put it through my hole. I'm going to put it through the crimp bead hole again. Get that then, and I'm going to pull on it all the way down to where it's about the same distance as the other one. Okay? And I'm going to get this other one out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and clip that so the beads don't start rolling on me when I start messing with this. Okay. And I'm going to look about the distance I have the other one, and it's really kind of close. See, it's really just kind of close. And I got to get my finger in there. So what I'm going to do, just like I did with the rosary kinda, I'm going to have to hold this end of the string and keep this end of the string taut so it doesn't slide anymore where I don't want it. And I have to let this droop down. Sorry, I'm getting out of frame here. Let this droop down. I can even hold it with my finger if I want to. Now, this is where the finagling comes in, because I want to make enough room for my crimp cover. So I got that, and I got a little bit tighter than I wanted it. See if I squeezed it too hard. I did. All right, so I have enough room for my crimp cover, but it's a little bit shorter than I want it. See how those are longer? And so there we go. See, it moved. So I need to squeeze it harder because it shouldn't have moved. So I'm going to pull the string just tight enough and give that, there you go. And then crimp that bead really tight. There we go. And then move it over and slowly close it so that we can get the crimp cover over it. Oop, I'm out of frame again, sorry. Just like that, okay? And pull on it. It's not moving. So I'm going to cut that string off. Make sure it's that string I'm working with, and that string I'm going to go right flush up against that, pull on it even a little bit, and then cut it off with my flush cutters. I keep saying flesh cutters. Okay, same thing other side. And I will put both of the crimps on at the end. And I've done this before. You may have to do it yourself. I've done it where I misjudged something and it came out. It didn't look as pretty as I thought it would look. And it wasn't the way I wanted it. So I had to take the whole thing down and start all over from scratch. That's okay if that happens too. It's okay to have to start over. Mistakes are how you learn. Let's see, I have this twisted somehow. Oh, because I have this on here. Derp. Okay. My kids say that. I don't know. Actually, I guess it's like duh or doy. We used to say that when I was in school. So I'm old. I'm aging myself here. Okay. This is this side. This is this side. All right, there we go. And see, they're similar in length and proportion. And I have the room to get my my crimp cover in there. So I'm going to hold this, let that drop. Make sure I'm on the right spot. Crimp that bead down real hard. Got my little mini horseshoe going on there. And if I can get this to close the right way. Okay, I'm all twisted. I'm having a moment here. There we go. close it. And close just a little awkward. Sometimes it won't close quite the way you want it to, but as long as it's enough to where it's holding the piece and you get the crimp in there, it's good. Make sure that's good. It is. Take my flush cutters, put it right up against that crimp, and pull and cut at the same time. And those pieces are long enough to use for something else. Maybe adding on to another necklace. And so now we're just going to add these crimp covers and then we're going to be done. So make sure we are all even here, and we are. And so I want to flip it over because I don't want my seams on my crimps showing. Put my finger in here. And as I said, this one's where it gets a little bit awkward. But with anything with my stuff, I leave a little tiny bit of slack, because if you put everything super, super tight where there's not any slack in it whatsoever, one, it's going to pop. Two, eventually it's going to pop. Two, it's not going to lay well. It's going to be stiff. And so we want the drape to be soft, not stiff. And so this helps it a little bit, but it also gives the ability for the beads to move just a little bit, so when you drape it around your arm, it doesn't feel awkward or like I said, stiff on your arm, and it doesn't feel uncomfortable. And I could just you can use both, but you gotta be careful when you use these not to break your other beads. Off screen here. Turn this way. Turn this way. It's easier for me to grab the cord to help me keep it in place when I'm pinching it. There we go. So I took limited edition, beautiful, gorgeous, it's just a beautiful color, acrylic beads and metal sliders, metal accent sliders, the Swarovski, and I turned it into this gorgeous piece. You know, it's going to be one of a kind. And so let me see if I can get it on here. It just fits. Like I said, because of the size of the beads and the accents beads, this is just a little bit, this is going to be more difficult for me, especially with the dexterity, but I can manage with a little finagling. There we go. See how beautiful that looks? Is it pulling on that? I pull my arm down. It's just really pretty. It's very sparkly. The age spots are, you know, those are my battle scars. They're not ugly spots, they're age spots. That shows my maturity. Anyway, so they're really pretty accents that come through here. This is a very nice bracelet you could wear as at a, you know, just casual or at a dinner party. It came out very well. Let me turn this around because it had it twisted. That was just because this was twisted, and all I had to do is that. So I hope that you enjoy this. Now, as I said at the beginning in my frustration, I will do a drawing, and let's say in 2 weeks. However many people like this video and put down at the bottom of the video their guess for how many times that alarm has beeped since I've been on. That doesn't count when I've been off, only when I've been on. So however many times that alarm has beeped, and if more than one person guessed the right number, then we'll put your names in a drawing, and I will let you have a ring of your choice. It's on the Katerie Designs Group page on Facebook. There's, I think, 85 of them to choose from. And so the ring of your choice, whichever one you want. and that will be the prize for whoever guesses that stinking fire alarm beeping going off the number of times. So if you don't mind, go on to Katerie Designs group page to give us a like. Give us a like on the official page, and you'll be entered to win the African turquoise jewelry set. And after we get to 150 likes, we're going to do a drawing. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.